Except for certain
Very
numbers.
few numbers. It's hard to get in. Same thing with Brown, but Brown also, like Stanford, offer a non-traditional age student program. Okay, University of California, Berkeley, the same. So just think about that. So just that what you would contribute. So is that okay? I want you to think about it. There is a sticker price to anything. And then if you apply for financial aid and you work through that, but you will need a lot of support to do that. What I want you to know is that what you walk away, if you really are participating in this program, right? And I'm not talking just eating a pizza, which I've done as a college student. I did. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm listening to a person for some pizza. I would do anything that is legal. For a t-shirt, I would make a fool out of myself. It's like, what do you want me to do? I was a college student. So what I want you to kind of think about, if you really want to become a leader within this organization, think about what are the steps that you need to take that you can then go back and say, I organized this. I participated in this. I encouraged fellow students, right? I came in during my lunchtime because I know I couldn't go at any other point. Tell your story about this, and this to me is great value. Volunteer, go to the activities. Take it seriously. Let it be that somebody can write you a letter of recommendation that is really based on your performance. So this is why I'm happy to be here in this group, because you already are active doing some stuff. So I already went into that. What I want you to kind of think about is what we are looking for, because it's a similar profile to what 4 years Jack and Cook, TTKO USA is looking for. Your GPA, you should aim for 3.5 or above. Okay? If you're with a consecutive upward movement, right? So meaning, it's okay if your first semester was a 3.2, but if you're going up as your classes are being a bit more difficult. So if you've had a little bit of a blemish, a C, you have to explain it, but it's fine. You also have to be engaged in leadership. You also have to be prepared to interview. You also have to have 2 letters of recommendation. One academically for us, as well as all of these organizations, and one for leadership. Can Jason write you a letter of recommendation?
Yes.
For academics?
No.
No.
Just for leadership.
Just for leadership. So you have to build a relationship with your professor enough, but you also have to be in that class asking questions, really doing different things. Is that clear?
Yeah.
He can definitely write you a letter for leadership, but don't go to Jason asking him to give you a letter about how you perform in a classroom. Now let's say you're not really participating in class, and your professor may not be able to speak to your class participation. What you may want Jason to do is to say you're an active participant when you're here. So it covers the whole. You know what you do in your class. So you're trying to prove that you're academically challenged, that you have persistence. Anybody who knows how to prove persistence? Right? You show your grades, but you also can show, I've had these hurdles, but I'm still pushing forward. Does that make sense? Want to make sure that I also want you to do one thing. I want you to identify a minimum of 10 schools that you would want to transfer to. And really thinking about what are school visits. Some schools sponsor for you to go out to your school. Did you know that? No. Many schools have transfer dates just for you. Georgetown, American University, you can get there in a bus ticket like around $65. By the time that they're reading your application, what is it? Angie. Angie, they should know you. They should be like, oh, this is Angie W. Yes. Lecturers, that's really how that happens. Most of the people that I work with are the deans of admissions at these selected institutions. So So it's really important by the time that you get this, not only do you have your letters of recommendation for leadership, for academics, and for us too, and for Jack and for PTA. But that give us a call. Say, hey, I was applying. This is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing. I wanted to know if there's anything missing. That's how you have to rule your life. So use this as an example for how you can do anything, right? So making sure that you know that the timeline. When are transfer applications due for the most part? When should you transfer to a selective 4-year or to the capital program? Maybe apply. Now.
I was just, I was just gonna ask you, that was my next question.
This is it. It's right now. Most deadlines are in April.
Yeah, April 1st.
Yeah, most deadlines are for April.
Okay.
Some are for February. For Syracuse, it's actually December. So, but that's for the fall semester. When are you more likely to get accepted into the highly selected?
Last year?
Admission?
Fall, no, that doesn't apply to transfer students. Early admissions or any of that doesn't apply. Fall admissions, you have more spots and more financial aid. Halfway through the year, halfway of the money is usually spent. Right? So make sure you do that. If you haven't, do not use W's here to manage your financial aid. Don't enroll and withdraw. To me, there's nothing worse than a W. Unless you can explain it away. But if you're enrolling and dropping classes without really giving it thought, then it shows lack of persistence. They know they're going to hit you hard at that 4-year. What I want you to keep in mind is academically you all can do the work. Not one of my students has done poorly academically.
I have a question about like the whole, all those 2 years. I have one example, is that really correct?
No, it's one W and you can explain it, but you don't have to explain it. Many people do not explain a W, do not get incompletes, right? If you have an F, what do? You may take the same class and you get that F, remain on your transcript, but it doesn't get calculated into your GPA. That's the first thing. So I just want to make sure that you keep that in mind.
Question.
Yes, sir.
What happens if you start off with a high GPA, like 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, and you go down to like a 3.5, and then you go back up? Like, what if that happens? Like, you fluctuate temperature high, but you fluctuate down.
You can explain if you're taking on heavy load courses. You can explain it. You don't need a 4.0. 4.0 is nice, but do not keep a 4.0 by taking basket weaving. Right? I know, I see that too. Like I do painting. Painting is a hard class, by the way. Right? I know you. So if you take painting 1 and painting 2, try to take something else. Don't just stay within that. But art, show any STEM students in this room, they drive me crazy, and any 4-year school crazy. Because you over here like, I'm a science major, I'm amazing. I had to calculus 1 and 2, and I took science 20, and all of them, physics 35. That's not impressive if you're not taking other liberal arts classes. If you cannot write and discuss anything, they're not going to really, you're not going to stand out. And that happens a lot to my many students that are in the STEM, that especially many students that come from Latin America and different African nations where math is so strong and they do so well. But unfortunately, if you don't demonstrate your proficiency in both English and liberal arts and interest in other things, they need it. Because what happens is, I was just discussing this yesterday. Like all of the dean, like the dean from Amherst, the dean from Stanford, the dean from Brown, the dean of Princeton, we were just discussing it. This is a fear. Because what happens is, you get in, but then you make it to side 38, and everything is written. There's no formula. Formula work is done in the lab and outside of the lab. But now you have to write about that formula. And that's a problem. So please work on your writing. It'll take 2 more minutes. Come on, 1 more. I'm going to give you some materials to take with you. Just want to put up my contact information. It's not going forward. These are the schools that our students get selected to. I'm going to leave something with you. It's how to reduce the cost of transfer. It's how the financial checklist with all the information you need. It's going to have the timeline here. You also have a summary of the book along with the schools that I would suggest that you consider. It also has the qualifications for the program. This is the book. Jason, I'm going to leave a copy with you. Actually, I have 2 copies. I'm going to leave a copy here. But this is the book. It has all of the information. Do not, yes.
Where can we find that book?
This is on Amazon, and so what I want you to find, but I'm going to leave a copy here. I'm going to send another copy in an electronic copy. But make sure that you use it as a resource. It's just a resource.
How much does it cost?
I don't know, $18.99. But again, a lot of the resources, it's not that I'm trying, of course, I encourage you to use the guide, but I want you to go to those resources there are summaries of some of the chapters. You can also get the same summaries. Good? All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I rushed Nancy off. We're going to get the information out to you. So just give me 1 minute because I got to I want to say some nice things about Nancy. I rushed her off because we're like, I give no breaks, right? So what I can tell you about Nancy is that she's been a great resource to students, not only here at Hostos, but all throughout the community. And I know she has all these great connections. You met Jabril yesterday, right? Well, Jabril's brother, Kudus, went to Stanford. He was part of the Kaplan program. That was their first valedictorian. I know that Nancy's very proud of Kudus. And then Jabril's roommate now is Enoch. You know that? So Enoch was also in the Kaplan program. He went to Occidental College. Now he's working for the mayor's office, all sorts of good stuff. So one of the things I can say about Nancy also is that even though Jabril wasn't in the program, I know that she gave him mentorship as well throughout his process to go to Tufts and all the stuff that he was doing, and then maybe even spoke to him about the URIC, right? Yeah. So she's a great resource. She's on Facebook too with me. She has all this connection stuff. So if you can reach out to her, do that. I'm sure she will answer questions as needed and give you guidance as you go along. The other thing that I'll say, here's my thing. I say this every year, and it's destruction. You ready? Because you're here, because you have participated, because, or those of you who are members of the Academy, I am always willing to write a letter of recommendation for you. And I will be your recommender for the rest of your life, as you heard Jabril still getting Michael Cruz, I'm still writing letters of recommendation for. I mean, so that's my promise to you as we go along. That being said, let's give Nancy a nice round of applause. We're going to reset, and Bert is coming over, so don't disappear.